Hello friends, welcome to our very important lecture on biofilm and human health. Biofilm is very important for a common man to know the concept of biofilm because in the day-to-day life we always get encountered with the different forms of biofilm and the topic it is on the biofilm and human health. So if you have the knowledge of biofilm and how to handle the biofilm in your day-to-day life, you can protect from hazardous impact of pathogenic bacteria. In this lecture we give you a detailed overview of biofilms. The study of biofilms represents a new way of understanding the microbiology of virtually everything around us, from its effect on the industrial level in the gas pipes to the common health problems. A comprehensive understanding of biofilm provides an exciting opportunity for a new generation of researchers and clinicians. This short lecture gives you an enough understanding to the biofilm phenomena to make the sense that issue biofilm raises with the respect to the study of microorganisms and their impact on the earth, on industry, on human health. Even though you may not be familiar with the terms biofilm, you may have certainly encountered biofilm on a regular basis. For example, a plate form of your teeth is also a type of biofilm. So I hope by this lecture you will get a detailed concept of the biofilm, and that will benefit you to maintain your healthy life. So we are going to cover the following topics related to this lecture. First, I will give you a detailed overview about the concept of biofilm. Then we talk about the key features of biofilms. Then we talk about the characteristic features of the biofilm. After that, we'll give you an idea that how the biofilm forms, what are the different stages of biofilm formation, and most importantly, we'll talk about the medical devices where you can find the biofilm, and that is having the hazardous impacts on human life. Then we also give you an overview of the what kind of microorganism involved in the biofilm, and then some of the infections that is associated with the biofilm. Apart from that, we'll give you the different method for the assessment and characterization of biofilm. And at last, we'll discuss about the different application and future prospects of the bioinformatics. I hope by getting a deeper insight into all these topics, you will get much familiar with the biofilm in your life. So now we talk about the concept of biofilm. Biofilm is a community of our microorganism that attach to the surface. A brief definition of biofilm is a complex aggregation of microorganisms growing on a solid surface. You can see here a picture of biofilm showing how the microorganism attached to the surface. It is embedded in a self-made matrix of extracellular polymeric substances and is a mode of microbial growth where the dynamic communities are interacting sessile cells are irreversibly attached to the solid substratum as well as each other. You can see here in a green picture that how the microorganisms are attached to the solid surface. It is showing a zoomed view of the biofilm where the microorganisms are attached to the surface. Biofilm is an assemblage of microbial cell that is irreversibly associated, and it should not be removed by gentle rinsing with the solid surface and enclosed in a matrix of primarily all polysaccharide materials. Biofilm may be found on essentially an environmental surface with a sufficient moisture present. So wherever the moisture present, the high chances of formation of biofilm or the aggregation of microorganisms together to form the biofilm are always there. Now we talk that what makes biofilm. What are the organisms exactly forming the biofilms? So most of the time, the living organism, as I told you, that the microorganism forming the biofilms, these are the different types of the bacteria. And most commonly biofilm are formed by the bacteria. Then the yeast cells are forming biofilms. You can find many places the algae are forming biofilms, especially in the ponds, or you can see in the side of the ponds the formation of biofilm by the algae. Then you can see the protozoa are also forming the biofilm at some places. Apart from the living organisms, some non-living things are also participating in the formation of biofilms, such as dissolved and solid organic byproducts. They are forming the biofilm. In addition, polysaccharide, lipid, and proteins are also involved in the biofilm formation, as most of the time bacteria secretes the polysaccharide material that is necessary for the attachment of uh, bacterial cell to the solid surface, and not only for that, it also provide protection to the microorganism. Then solid inorganic detritus are also involved in the formation of biofilm. Then mineral, soil, dissolved inorganics. These are the major component of formation of the biofilm. And finally, the metal salts and the cellular metabolic products are also involved in the biofilm formation. So these are the most common types of materials, either living or non-living. They are participating in the formation of biofilm always. So what are the key feature of biofilm? Biofilm, can you say anything as a biofilm? No. Biofilm have a well-defined key features. So for a biofilm, it is a multicellular phenomena that the many cells are joined together to form the biofilm. Then it is multi-species. It is not always the single. There are more than one species held together, like the bacteria, then solid materials, then the materials that I discussed in the last slide. That these are the materials that are the forming the biofilms. Then extracellular polymeric substances, and the biofilm should have a very three-dimensional structure. So these are the four key features of the biofilm. The substances that are forming the biofilm are most of the time proteins, lipids, inorganic compounds, polysaccharides, nucleic acids, trapped organic materials, fungi, algae, bacteria, and extracellular polymers. These are the major component of the biofilms. Now, where you can find the biofilm? The biofilm, as I told you, it can found everywhere. You can see here the tooth plaque is one of the most common example of biofilm. Then the ship hulls are some of the, because the ship are always in moisture environment, so it having the chances of formation of the biofilms. Then the medical implants, that are many medical implants in our body, they have chances to get adsorption of the bacteria or the other pathogenic organism. They form the biofilms. Cataract lens most of the time get infected with the microorganism and through the formation of biofilms. Then dairy products, dairy petroleum pipelines. I will discuss each things in detail in the next slide. And the rock surfaces, you most of the time on the rock surfaces are having biofilm by the growth of different types of algae and other organisms. Then the clogged drains are also one of the example of the biofilms. If you talk about the disease, cystic fibrosis is the one of the best example of the disease caused by the biofilm formation. I will discuss this in detail. And the medical devices that I talk to you that having the chances of formation of biofilm, these are the endotracheal tubes, mechanical heart valves, pacemakers, urinary catheter, and then connectors, prosthetic joints. These are the actually materials. They have high chance of the formation of biofilm because of the moist environment and the chances of crossing the microorganism, and they have tendency to form the biofilms. Biofilm can form on the different surfaces like the surface of stainless steel, surface of polystyrene, surface of polyester, rubber, and copper. So now you are familiar with the concept of biofilm in detail. Now we talk about the characteristic of the biofilm. Biofilm has ability to survive through tough environment condition. It is have tendency to survive in all the harsh environment. Apart from, for example, if you talk about the our mouth cavity, it is having tons of lysozyme. They can kill the microorganism, but still they can survive in the form of biofilm. The unique capacity of bacteria in a biofilm is because of the following features. First, the residing bacteria are protected from the environmental threats, trapping of nutrients, and metabolic cooperation between the resident cells of the some species or different species is allowed by the biofilm structure. It also exhibits organized internal compartmentalization, which helps the bacterial species in each compartment with different growth requirement. By communicating and exchanging genetic material, these bacterial cells in a biofilm community may acquire new traits. There are four important characters of the biofilm. These four characters are autopoiesis. This means that they must possess ability to self-organize. If the one bacteria few bacteria assembled together, then automatically it have tendency to form multiple bacteria together. Then homeostasis. It should resist the environmental perturbation. Then the synergy. Synergy is very important phenomena because must be the outcome of effectiveness is as high as the number of bacteria participate together to form the biofilm. And lastly, the communality, that it should respond to environmental changes as a unit rather than a single individual. Now, as the biofilm gets matured, the bacteria are getting more safer environment, they are more resistant to the fluid movement, and they can attach more strongly to the surface, and they develop a kind of antibiotic resistance, and their survival are more easier. And then the mature biofilm is actually the biofilm which actually affect the our health, especially because in this condition the bacterial become the resistant to the antibiotics. Now I will talk about the stages of bacterial biofilm formation. The biofilm formation complete in 5 different steps. The first step is the attachment, where the bacteria attach to a variety of surfaces from metal to plastic to skin tissue using a specialized tail-like structure. The next step is the growth. Once they get attached to the solid surface, the cells starts grow and divide, forming the dense matrix structure, many layers and thick. At this stage, the biofilm is too thin to be seen. So you can see here a uni layer can be formed. Then the third stage is the maturation. When there are enough bacteria in the development of biofilm, the bacteria secrete a slimy extracellular matrix of proteins and polysaccharide, and then the metal becomes thicker, more cells are joined together to forming a well-defined biofilm. The fourth stage is the detachment. The slime protects the bacteria from the harsh environment, shielding them from the many chemicals, antibiotics, and immune system. And the final stage is the redevelopment, because once the one set of biofilm is formed and mature, the new cells emerge and it colonize to the next place, and then again start developing, and the attachment of the new cells start the formation of the new colony or the new biofilms, and that way it spreads throughout the surfaces. So these are the 5 different stages of the formation of biofilm. Now we talk about the functioning of biofilm. As the biofilm forms, they have different layers. Mostly it is divided into 3 important layers. So we'll talk about what are the function and the activities occurs in the 3 different layers. The outermost layer, where the highest concentration of oxygen and nutrients, resembles their planktonic counterpart. As the organism in the free state, the same way it behaves, because it have the more access to the nutrition as well as the oxygen. They sludge off and initiate biofilm formation to the downstream. Likewise, I told you in the last slide that they try to spread and get the new attachment site and then form the new biofilms. The second layer, here the organism down-regulate their metabolic activity because it don't have the direct access to the oxygen, although they can clearly utilize the nutrient exchange genes and have potential of multiple drug resistance. The benefit is obtained from their alignment, which depends upon the spatial rearrangement, physiological heterogeneity, and non-uniformity. The innermost layer is attached to the substratum and is the earliest part of biofilm because biofilm initiates with the attachment of the to the solid surface. It also efficiently down-regulate and the least metabolically active, and the most persisters are found to be fossilized here and provides inheritance for future population that transfer laterally. So these are the three different layers of the biofilm and their corresponding function that we have discussed. So far we have discussed about the formation of biofilm and characteristic feature of biofilm. Now we'll discuss about the factors which actually regulates the formation of biofilms. The factors are divided into three major categories. One is the biological, then physical, and then the chemicals. So the first factor is the biological factor, and it is the majorly two factor are the biological factor. One is the what is the organism concentration. This how many number of cells are there that plays very important role in the formation of biofilm. And the second is the organism type. What kind of microorganism actually it is the biofilm. Then these are the different organisms that generally involved in the biofilm formation, like the Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Enterococcus, E. coli, Klebsiella pneumoniae, and the Pseudomonas. These are the common microorganisms involved in the biofilm formation. The chemical factors including substrate type, means which material it is composed of, where the biofilm formation occurs, then the substrate concentration, then the pH of the system, of course, very much necessary. Then inorganic composition, is there any salt or different kind of inorganic substance. Then the dissolved oxygen plays very significant role in the biofilm formation. And most importantly, sometimes you can find the microbial inhibitors are there, they always interfere with the formation of biofilm. The physical factor includes temperature, because temperature is one of the very important phenomena for the survival of microorganism and its growth. Then the fluid shear stress, like if there is high stress or high shear, the chances of formation of biofilm are low. Then the heat flux, surface composition, surface texture, like the roughness is also playing very important role in the formation of biofilm. Then the hydraulic residence time. So these are the physical, chemical, biological factors playing very important roles. And the outcome of the biofilm can be described in the different way, like the corrosion, then various pipes and plumbings that are forming the biofilm, food industries, medical fronts, living environments, energy problems, environmental protection, environmental reclamation, and the ship industry. These are the major sufferer of the biofilm formation. Now we talk about the biofilm and its impact on the human health. As I told you, in the day-to-day life, we get in touch with the different forms of biofilm, and most surprisingly, you can find the water bottle people are using, and we sometimes we don't wash the water bottle. That's very highly hazardous to our health because the tip of the water bottle and its cover always having the moist environment, and the chances of bacterial growth are very high, and it causes severe diseases. So we should be always use clean bottle for the drinking water. Then the airborne illness are also associated with the biofilm formation because sometimes you use the towel that are kept for a longer time and their bacterial growth, and you just use to for your cleaning your face, and it get infect you in a better way. Then there's some medical devices that are kept for the longer time where the chances of bacterial growth are very high. Most common is the example of biofilm is your teeth, where you need to clean always, otherwise your teeth get the formation of biofilm, and that is hazardous to your health. Some inner transplant in our body also get chance of the get in touch with the microorganism and the formation of the biofilm. Most importantly, your utensil, your kitchen item, if you kept for the longer time in the moist environment, they have the chances to formation of the foodborne diseases, because many bacteria get attached to them and then they come to our body through the different organism. Sometime for the surgical materials, and sometime you use the different types of materials that also having the chances of the bacterial growth. And most importantly, that the shower you are using, they always having the flow of water, and there are high chance of the formation of biofilm there. That, and we usually don't take seriously, but it's very serious issue that we should clean our shower, because through shower we are getting the formation of biofilm there, and then through that bacteria comes to our body and affects your health. If we talk about the infectious diseases that are associated with the biofilm formation, there is a long list of the infectious diseases, from the wound infection, bacterial prostatitis, then the inflammatory bowel diseases and colorectal cancer, recruitment of typhoid fever, and hepatobiliary cancer, ineffective endocarditis, atherosclerosis, rhinosinusitis, pharyngitis, celiac, cystic fibrosis, mastitis, and a series of diseases that are caused because of the infection occurred through the biofilm formation. Now we can see there are many clinical devices, that mostly implant in a human body, and that device is having high chance because of our body is of course in a wet condition where the formation of or the growth of microorganisms are very high. So these are some diseases that are associated with the devices, like the ventricular derivations, contact lenses, endotracheal tubes, then the vascular central catheter, then prosthetic cardiac valves, pacemakers, vascular grafts, peripheral vascular catheter, tissue fillers, breast implants, urinary catheter, orthopedic implants, and the prosthetic joints. Some tissues, they are having high chance to get infection. These are chronic otitis media, chronic sinusitis, chronic tonsillitis, dental plaques, chronic laryngitis, endocarditis that affect heart. Then the lung infection, most common are the cystic fibrosis, kidney stone are also one of the example of biofilm, biliary tract infection, urinary tract infection, genital infections, osteomyelitis, and the chronic wounds. So these are some tissue that get infected through the biofilm. I'll give you a detailed view of some of the diseases where the biofilm plays important role. For example, in the case of mouth, you can see most of the person who are unable to speak, they use the endotracheal tubes, or especially for the food materials people use, and they have high chances to form the biofilm. Then you can say the site of primary infection are the subcutaneous catheter. They also have very high chance to get infected, and the artificial hip implant, because it is of the metal materials, they have chances to form the biofilm. You can see here the catheter surface where the deposition of organic layer, then the bacterial colonization, formation of protective exopolymer saccharide. These kind of the materials, they are forming the biofilm on the catheter surface, and the biofilm impenetrable to the host immune response and antibiotics. That's what it causes a lot of serious health illness. Now in the broader perspective, further you can see here the water supply that comes through a large number of channels, and it crosses a large number of pipelines. there the high chances of the formation of biofilm, and these biofilms are too dangerous for our body because it is not in our control, and some pipeline got affected from where the microorganism comes to your house, and then once you drink that kind of water you'll get infected. And this is the example of the E. coli, where the you can see here the tube or the pipeline, how bad it is because of the formation of water biofilm. This is the example of the one case where the 27 people are infected by Legionella pneumophila and 7 are died. The disease is spread through the aerosols generated by cooling towers, showers and fountain, etc. So in the shower, most of the time you can see the formation of biofilm, and that's what it needs a time to time cleaning. You can see here the pipe of the shower, how bad and how much the formation of biofilm, and that comes to our body when you take the wash. Most importantly, most of the people are using RO for the drinking water, and we don't have habit to clean the RO. There the formation of biofilm are very high and these are very dangerous to our health. So we should clean our RO supply from time to time. Biofilm can also affect the oil industry because the pipelines are longer pipelines and they have the chances of the formation of biofilm, and that causes the leakage of the gas and big loss to the company. In the process of pipeline, biofilm activity develops slimes which impedes filter, and that filter cause the leakage, and that's why we need to be careful about the different kind of hazardous impact of biofilm to the industrial sector as well. The stage of formation of tooth plaque is divided into the three different stages. The first stage, the adsorption of inorganic and organic molecules, that is the positively charged organic molecule to the negative charged surface, creating a condition to form the first layer. During the dental plaque formation, the tooth surface is coated with a glycoprotein pellicle, and the mechanism involved in the pellicle formation include electrostatic and van der Waals and hydrophobic interactions. Pellicle formation as a protective barrier providing lubrication for the surfaces and preventing tissue desiccation. However, it also provides a substrate to which bacteria in the environment get attached. The second phase, within the few hours of the bacteria are found on the dental pellicle. The initial colonizer are predominantly gram-positive facultative microorganisms such as actinomycetes and streptococcus. They adhere to pellicle by a specific molecule called adhesins. A viscous cells possess fibrous protein surfaces called fimbriae. The plaque must then mature through the growth of the attached species as well as the colonization of growth of the additional species. The third stage, secondary colonizer, include different bacteria, and these adhere to the surface of bacteria through the plaque mass, and the phenomena of co-aggregation give rise to the formation of biofilm on the tooth surface. Now we'll discuss some famous or common example of the biofilm formation. You can see here the biofilm formation, this view showing you the biofilm formation in the hip joints where the which causes the chronic diseases. Then endocarditis, that is the occurred because of our heart valve and the pacemakers are transplanted there. They have high chances to get infected with the microorganism. You can see here the biofilm, how the biofilm starts forming in the and causing the lung infection, especially the cystic fibrosis. The endocarditis occurs when the bacteria enter to the bloodstream and attach to the damaged portion of the inner lining of heart or abnormal heart valve. Not all bacteria entering into the bloodstream are capable to causing the endocarditis. Only those bacteria that are able to stick to the surface lining of heart and abnormal valve that having chance to cause the endocarditis. Endocarditis most often occurs in a pupil who having the chronic diseases or especially have the transplanted valves. And these are the some pathogens that are causing endocarditis. These are the Streptococcus mutans and Staphylococcus organism. The most or important feature of the microorganism that gained through the biofilm formation is the antimicrobial resistance. Bacteria growing in microbial communities adherent to the surface do not behave as the same way as the bacteria growing suspended in a liquid environment. That is the planktonic condition or the soluble condition. For example, the resistance of bacteria to antimicrobial agents is dramatically increased in the biofilm. Almost without any exception, organisms in a biofilm are 1,000 to 1,500 times more resistant as compared with the antibiotics in their planktonic state. The mechanism of this increased resistance differs from species to species and from antibiotic to antibiotic for the growing on the different habitats. It is generally accepted that the resistance of bacteria to antibiotics is affected by their nutritional status, growth rate, temperature, pH, prior exposure to the sub-effective concentration, and the antimicrobial agents. Variation is only in these parameters will lead to the varied response to antibiotic within the biofilm. The important mechanism of resistance appears to be the lower rate of growth of bacterial species in the biofilm, which makes them less susceptible to many environments but not all the antibiotics. The biofilm matrix, although not a significant physical barrier to the diffusion of antibiotics, does have certain properties that can retard the antibiotic penetration. For example, a strongly charged or chemically high reactive agents can fail to reach to the deeper zone of the biofilm because the biofilm acts as an ion exchange resin that removes such molecules from the solution. In addition, the extracellular matrix such as beta-lactamase, formaldehyde lyase, formaldehyde dehydrogenase may become trapped and concentrated in the extracellular matrix and as such inactive, and some antibiotics, especially positively charged hydrophilic, are providing the resistance against the different types of antibiotics. Now the question that how you can remove the biofilm or how you can protect yourself from the biofilm. So there are the several approaches people are undertaken to against the biofilm, and these are the most common approach are the irrigating system where you can wash the biofilm through the liquid, and for that the barberine and anti-alkaloid that possess broad spectrum antimicrobial spectrum against different types of bacteria, especially oral pathogen. It reduces cell surface hydrophobicity and inhibited the growth of multi-species biofilm. Another agent is the sodium hypochlorite. It is frequently used as an irrigating solution in endodontics because of its ability to dissolve necrotic tissue as well as the potent antimicrobial action. Another reagent is the ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, EDTA. It is one of the most commonly used agents. Its antimicrobial activity against biofilm is a matter of some controversy because it has some hazardous impact on human health, but still it is having very good impact to cleaning the biofilm. Another important material are the malic acid, a mild organic acid that has more recently proposed for the use of final irrigating solution as an alternative to EDTA because of better smear layer removal from the apical third of root canal system by malonic acid and its lower toxicity. Another material is the tetraethylene, is a mixture of deoxycycline hyclate, citric acid, and a detergent that has ability to eliminate microorganisms from a smear layer and the dental tubes of the infected root canal. There are nanomaterial based materials are developed which having different impact on the cleaning of the microorganism in the biofilm, and these are the list of the different types of material that can be and the different types of nanoparticles that can be used for the removal of biofilm. So after the irrigating system, we can use the mechanical system to clean the biofilm, and this is the example of mechanical instrumentation and irrigation, which tissue lytic and microbial solution and antimicrobial medications in the root canal are used for the treatment of the biofilm. Laser therapy is also extensively used for the cleaning of the biofilm, especially in the tooth region. Is currently used for the cataract surgery for the extraction of photolysis of the lens and the prevention of secondary cataract formation. This surgical method is used to gently break up the cloudy lens into the tiny pieces that can be removed through an aperture of the probe. You can see here in the picture. Then sometimes people use the triple antibiotic paste or double antibiotic paste, where the paste are formed that uh, paste of the three antibiotic are taken for the removal or the killing of the bacteria which exist in the form of biofilm. Apart from several disinfectant, iodophore, hypochlorite, acid anions, peroxyacetic acid, quaternary ammonium compounds, and sanitizers are used for the cleaning of the biofilm. On medical devices, especially catheter impregnated with the minocycline and rifampicin, catheter coated with the cationic surfactant to protect themselves from the bacterial attachment, and the attachable subcutaneous cuffs containing silver ion inserted after the local application of the polyantibiotic ointment. It also be controlled by the phage and through the enzymatic removal, especially in the case of industry, and sometimes it is antimicrobial agent through the metabolic molecules. So these are the some strategies used for the treatment or the removal of biofilm. Different types of method can be implicated. Not only these industry, biofilm is equally important for the agricultural industry because of the different perspective like the wastewater treatment, sustainable environment, bioremediation, symbiotic nutrition, plant growth promoters, sustainable agriculture, biological control agents, and biofertilization. So directly or indirectly, biofilm also have great impact on the agriculture industry. Now, at last, we would like to talk about the future research prospects of the biofilms. And you know that despite the discovery of microbial biofilms in 17th century, scientists have largely focused to this attention on the solitary or planktonic forms of the microorganism. That's what more reliable method for the detection and measurement of biofilm should be developed, and elucidation of genes especially expressed in the biofilm associated organism should be monitored and should be analyzed. And more importantly, the evaluation of various controlling strategies should be developed, and studies related to the effect of probiotics on the biofilm should be done. In that way, we can be able to handle the biofilm and its health impact. That's what it could be used for. The different strategies could be developed for the therapeutic approaches and the prevention of the diseases. So I hope you will get benefited with this lecture, and for any query and question clarification, I am happy to answer you through this email. Please note my email ID. Thank you very much. Good luck.